Hello, Pete, and hello, everyone. Hopefully today is going to be a fantastic race for you all, and it's a fresh start for One Hub for Season 18, and look forward to see what this race brings. Well, there's many interviewees, but we'll stick with the prospects here. And the first driver I am going to get the questions from is Jess Games 95, a well-known, good commentator as well as racer. And the first question was, well, the season's finally here. On a scale of Ricardo Raw to the Senna Europa, where are you on the scale of excitement to come back? And this is Jess's response. Senna's Europa for sure. I'm really excited to be racing again. Season 17 was my most enjoyable season at One Hub, so I can't wait to continue battling and racing. The second question asked, this is to all the drivers as well, and no more time to tune up. How do you think you'll fare out there being the racetrack? And yeah, sure. See if this issue with Pete is sorted, but on my end you sound okay. But okie dokie. Right. Right.
What?
I'm looking on micro.
Okay.
I can hear you.
My microphone was muted for some reason for the stream. That is an issue that I need to make sure is fine. I'm just reading the comments. Yeah, my voice is on share. It was with the PS5 with broadcasting. For some reason, when starting the broadcast, it automatically put my mic on mute. So I do apologise for that. I might have to restart everything and say. Read everything that I said again. I do apologise. So I will welcome everyone once again to Season 18 of One Hub Racing. What do you mean I figured out to press on mute? prospect here for round number 1 at Canada, brought to you by Next Level Sim Racing. Liam RBS, 3M Sim Racing, partners with Vespertine in collaboration with Time to Print, with 20% off this week's track at Canada for their Etsy store using the code ONEHUB. I'm going to read out the drivers as qualifying will get started, and hopefully we don't get any more mishaps in the future. So, our 2 Mercedes drivers are Astronaut TO4, a one-hub race premium driver, with Fuzzy Bear pairing him up in the Mercedes. Liam JH HMC12 and Jess Gamer 95 are your Ferrari drivers, both race premium. Craig Senna and I Majestic TV are in the Red Bull, Craig Senna being a race premium driver. In the McLaren you have Prime Valorex. Is it Prime? Oh, it's Primeval Rex. And Reverend Daniels in the McLaren. In the Renault, you have Ras Adam and FGE Storm, both one-hub race premium drivers. C-Tice Demon 20 and Jake W. Combs in the Racing Points, both one-hub premium drivers. In the Alpha Tauris, we have TJW 77 and Waze is 77, both one-hub premium drivers. In your Alfa Romeos, you have Pavo 925, one-hub race premium driver, and F1 Baza 86, an ERT driver. Also a sponsor who have their own little trophy here for this season. Alex Lilia and Indecisive Mackie pair up for Haas F1, both one-hub race premium drivers, and KingGen 79 and Stereogram in the Williams, KingGen being a one-hub premium driver. So qualifying is getting underway. You have a little note. I'll let you continue with your media generations as I see a few drivers on their outlaps.
Right, okay, what I'll do is I'll start from the top for Jess, and then I will mention another question on the formation lap. But the first question to Jess was, well, the season's finally here. On the scale of Ricardo Ross and Senna Europa, where are you on the scale of excitement to come back? And the response was Senna Europa for sure. I'm really excited to be racing again. Season 17 was my most enjoyable season at One Hub, so I can't wait to continue battling and racing talk. I'd love to hear that. And the second question, no more time to tune up now. How do you think you'll fare out there? Well, Jess's response was, due to the fact that not everyone turned up last week, thus being the Silverstone short race, it's hard to tell of where I would be in the pecking order. However, as long as I keep it penalty-free and clean during the races, I should fare well. I hope to score consistently in order to improve my position in the drivers and the team in the constructors. And the third question, any particular area of concern about this week's event? This being in Canada. The first corner is a nightmare in lap 1, so I've got to make sure I don't get any damage then. Also, the hairpin is tricky to get right too. You've got to be smooth on the wheel. The corner before, the second DRS straight, turn 6, I'm getting better at it, but I know I still need to improve on it. My consistency is what I need to focus on. And just the last two questions. With the pre-season race, a good chance to scout your opponents. Who is your biggest threat in the Constructors or Drivers Championship? In terms of drivers, I would say Matt being indecisive, not me, and Majestic. In terms of the constructors, I would say Mercedes. So good old Ferrari and Mercedes battle there. Look forward to see that. And both drivers have scored well in the pre-season race. I think there will be a few threats. And finally, which is going to be your worst track this season, and where will you be looking to maximise your potential in the results? Singapore being my worst track this season. I will be paying more attention to Sector 2 around that track for sure. Luckily though, it's the second track on the calendar, therefore my worst track will be out the way very quickly. Good point. And finally, I am really excited for Brazil and Russia. I have a lot of fun around these tracks. And that was Jeff in the media booth, and I shall get my next driver for when the formation lap starts. Over to you, mate. there, Pete? You're on mute, Pete.
What I didn't want to do was turn the mic. I got told in the comments to turn you up and the game sound down, which I am doing now. The issue with that was I didn't want to cut you out of your speaking, so I could let you continue to try and roll it through until I could get back onto the screen. Because as soon as I changed to a driver that had come out the pits, it was really loud in my ear, and I was like, and I didn't want to go into the menu to interrupt what you were saying. So.
Okay.
It is our first time as a partnership, well, not our first time together, but with so much pressure and trying to put some good commentary for the Commentators Championship as well. It's not really going too well at the start. But we've had our few first lap times. Astronaut currently on provisional pole with a 109.3. King Gen, Primeval, Liam JHMC, Bazza, Jess, Stereogram have set their laps already. What type of lap time are we thinking for qualifying?
I'm looking at around the mid 108s if they can hook a lap together. Mid 108 is a good lap too, but on the medium tyres right now, the quickest lap time on the medium is Liam currently in the Ferrari, so interesting strategy there from Liam.
Mm-hmm.
To which
Yes.
I'm keeping a close eye on the battle between Liam and the Mercedes driver.
So yeah, Liam set his time on the mediums, but he's also now gone out. He's selected softs in the pits. We'll see if we can catch some drivers ending their lap. I am informed that there is a driver with a quali ban.
Yes, indeed. There is a quali ban for driver for CES Storm in the Renault due to in the pre-season race he did not display the right number. So he has had to take a qualifying ban. So he's a driver to watch in the race as he's got good pace. So have a bit of overtaking there from the Renault driver of Storm in the back there. So he's worth a watch for this race.
Thank you very much. Just riding on board with Craig Senna. I believe he was pushing for a lap. He was coming through the middle sector towards turn 8 and 9. Very tricky section on this track. A very rear loose he was on exit, and he abandoned the lap. He'll either box or go again. He's to harvest enough EOS. Whether he has enough fuel or not, it should say on TAS in qualifying how much fuel people tend to go out, so I'll leave the TAS stuff to you. But he is looking like he's going to go again, nice and clean through the final couple of corners. Matt, take us on a lap of Canada with Craig Senna.
Okay, so turn 1 you want to take the car to the right, open up turn 1 and then into turn 2. Try and nurse the power out to get ready to enter turn 3. Famous corner here where Button and Alonso collided, but there's no tears here at the moment yet for qualifying. Let's just get it tidy, nice and tidy there. Into turn 6, braking just after the 100-metre board. Clipping the curb here, and very nicely done there by Senna. Gently putting the throttle down out of turn 8. It's really hard to lose the rear out of there, so we're going under the tunnel into turn 9 now. It's really easy to cut a corner here, and to lose the rear you really need to be accurate out there. It's a lot harder than it looks. So the braking now just after the 100-metre board. Once again the slowest corner on the track. It's a wide entry so you can open up the straight here, and now it's just you and that throttle pedal getting ready to prepare the brake pedal for the last chicane. It's a really easy corner to cut, but if you get it right you can gain so much time. Where's the brake just after the 100-metre board, clips it perfectly. That's very nice there from Senna. Does he take the shortest line to the finishing line? Where does this put them? Puts it up to P2 for the Red Bull driver of a 109.8, sorry. However, it is his second flying lap, so he'll be hoping to set another lap time on a fresh set of tyres. Pete. Right, okay. I don't know if you lot on stream can hear Pete, but I can't hear him at the moment. We're probably having a couple of technical issues, it seems, at the moment.
No, it's me muting my mic to not interrupt you with any background noise. So, yeah, I was on board with Craig Senna while you were talking. He was very tidy through the lap that I saw, used the curbs efficiently, pushed himself in now P3 as RAS Adam goes provisionally to P2, 10 thousandths quicker than Craig. See if we can catch the drive on a lap. Bazza, I believe, has just finished one. Primeval Rex is coming through the final chicane, 2.5 tenths up in the second sector. This will push him into the 1 minute 9s. Not quite. 1 minute 10 must have had a shaky final couple of corners.
Who's on the flyer right now is Astronaut in turn 1, in P1, sorry, who's set the purple sector 1. And now set a purple sector 2 with 21.7. He's on a flyer right now here. This could break into the 108s here, as I predicted before qualifying. Now the track is ramping up right now. He was the one to look out for. He had amazing pace in the pre-season race, a championship contender already in my book. I know it's really early in the season to say this, but he's showing impressive pace now. So where does this put him on lap? A 108.8. There's your benchmark. Go beat that, everyone.
You mentioned it earlier that you were looking at a 108.5 as a potential pole time. We're slowly getting there, but with this lap time from Astronaut, he puts himself solidly nearly a second in front of Ras Adam, who currently sits alongside on the first row of the grid.
There's your benchmark. Now Liam, who was battling with Astronaut in the pre-season race, 1 second off Astronaut. Oh, that's wrong for it. No, that's Bazza in the Alfa Romeo, apologies. 1.5 seconds off Astronaut. I was thinking Liam and Astronaut are going to be close to each other on track. So
maybe Liam hasn't had or hooked up the lap perfectly just yet. He's still sitting in the pits, maybe waiting to make sure the track's at its best. But I was on board with King Gen 79. He was in the Williams on his flyer. He's put himself up into P2 with a 109.7. No one getting anywhere near Astronaut's 1 minute 8.8. This could be one of his favourite tracks, and he has probably put a lot of time and effort into preparing for this. And at the moment, no one is yet toppling him.
I mean, at the moment, looking at the personal bests, we've got the Williams of Stereogram 23, who's currently on the medium compounded tyres and the personal best in the first sector.
Invalidated.
By the looks of things, it's gone invalidated, yeah.
Yep.
It's just gone yellow on the TAS system, which is a fantastic bit of tech to have. You can flick over to the cameras on who's improving on times to give you, the viewers, the best footage you can get from us ourselves.
I've got Fozzie Bear on a lap and the hairpin. He was up on his time. His best time's a 10.7. I believe he set that on mediums. No, he set his best on softs. 2 lap old softs though. Fresh softs for now. Coming up to a little bit of traffic, but I don't think it will hinder him. It'll probably give him a little bit of slipstream as the Ferrari goes into the pits. Down towards the checkered flag that will show in 5:49. Up to the line, it's a 10.1. 1,000ths quicker than Primeval Rex.
He has time to find a personal best sector 1, lost time in sector 2, but personal best in sector 3. It's like you say, a 110.1, but he still has a lot of fuel on board, so he's still got a lot more to show.
Yeah, might have put that extra fuel in just in case he invalidated. From the looks of things, he must have invalidated on his previous run, which is why he had to do 2 laps and had to go again. This time he made sure he had enough fuel again and continues to keep pushing. Testing the track limits. We know the track limits on F1 2020 is a little bit sketchy, but
yeah,
if you find the right lines, if you keep within the limits, you'll set a good lap time.
Stereogram sets a personal best of a 112.4. It keeps him in P13, but on the medium compound of time.
Just a notice, Reverend Daniel retired before setting the lap time. Not too sure where he had his incident, whether he retired in the pits or not, because we only know of CS Storm of having a quali ban. So what I believe CS Storm is doing, he says he's on a lap. He's probably setting his setup on, and then he'll be diving back into the pits Tice
Right.
Demon as well. Didn't set a lap time and retired from the session, so we'll be starting from the back.
Who's on a lap at the moment? I believe Pav0925 is currently on a lap. Who's done a personal best in Sector 1 over 22.8, and he believe he's got in the way, is he there?
He wasn't getting in the way. Both drivers on flyers. Way's taking the initiative to go around the outside into turn 8 and 9, as Pav has gone deep into turn 10 of the hairpin. Front wing damage, and hopefully he gets out of the way of the racing point behind of Jack W. Combs. Luckily he is on an in-lap.
Waze is yet to set a benchmark time. I've noticed on the TAS he keeps getting front wing damage. He's pushing too hard. But he has shown in the pre-season he has got the pace. He needs to stop picking up these penalties and needs to stop getting these little incidents. Otherwise, Astronaut does have a contender. If Waze just winds down a bit, just calms down a bit there, because he's a quick driver as Waze on this day.
So Primeval Rex on a lap in towards turn 10 hairpin. He was half a tenth down from what I saw in the first sector. He's
currently up on his personal best at the moment.
Coming towards the final couple of corners, I'd say the trickiest part of the track, because not only is it key to ending a lap, it's key to starting another lap, especially in the race. He goes 3/10 quicker up to P5 or 109.8, but still we're yet to see someone challenge Astronaut in P1.
Yeah, we've got Craig Senna now just finishing his lap now. He's in Sector 3 now. We go once again up to the tricky chicane. Don't want to go into the wall of champions unless you want to leave your mark and let the track know you were there. He does not, as there is debris at the wall of champions. So who was that? Who's got the damage there for you? Saying that, Craig Senna has gone under 2/10 to Astronaut's time.
Very quick lap
Just
time.
outside the 108 benchmark, or 109 dead.
2 thousandths away from breaking that 108 window, but at the moment the closest driver to get anywhere near Astronaut's time. Hopefully we can see King Gen is about to start a lap. We'll see if anyone's ending. We've got Bazza, who's invalidated. He will probably go again. 1 minute 14 left in the session, so these are going to be people's last laps. The time has flown by, hasn't it, Matt?
Honestly, it has. I'm struggling to who to keep an eye on right now, because the task system is going green for everybody. The track has vamped up. I'm currently riding on board Jess right now, as I'm keeping an eye on her, because she's
about
really
to start.
wants to get up the table in terms of Constructors and Drivers' Championship. Clips turn 1 and 2 very nicely here. It's a nice steady lap so far.
So I was just on board
turn
with
3.
TJW, sorry, he's up on his time as well. He could probably break into the 1 minute 9s, but that will only get him to a P7. Jess will be looking to find about 1.3 seconds, if she can.
Looking at 1.3 seconds. I'm just riding on board with Jess right now, as Astronaut is getting ready to do his one last flying lap. He doesn't need to, he's already sent the benchmark. As Jess has gone wide, but luckily her lap has not been invalidated yet. But once the Ferrari of Jess crosses the line, all eyes will be on Astronaut to see if he can even go any faster on a set of soft compound tyres, and Jess has indeed backed out on a lap. She was pushing a bit too hard on the brakes there, as Liam shows himself up the grid to P3 to get ready to challenge Astronaut on the left side of the grid.
We were mentioning Waze earlier. He's about to finish his lap. He almost got hindered from Jess at the final corner, but Jess was out of the way. Waze up to P5 with a 109.594. King Gen not on a lap. And I believe our man, who doesn't really need to do it, but probably wants to show the rest of the grid what he's got, that he can be a title contender for this season, here in One Hub Season 8 towards the final chicane, nice and clean, flying over it, missing the wall of champions, and across the line he improves by 0.3 to a 108.5, setting the precedent for this season.
And what the lap time we predicted, 108.5. 5/10, just under 5/10 clear of Senna in P2. But Liam is there. Liam has good race pace. He may not be quick in quali, but the points are scored in the race, and we'll have to wait and see what the drivers bring here today at Canada.
Very good indeed. So we have our... Oh, sorry.
So I'm looking at race control. Pab has been given a 5-second grid penalty for a collision.
Does it say who he's had a collision with?
Tass is currently not telling me. I'll just be right back to you. It's just popped up on race control, but it's not telling me. Okay. I'll get back to you on that one.
Thank you very much. Right. Qualifying is over. The Mercedes is on pole, as we've seen throughout the 2020 real F1 season, and so far in, well, not even so far in 2021, one race, Red Bull was able to snatch it. Red Bull in P2, but it's Mercedes from Red Bull from Ferrari. It's Astronaut, Craig, Senna and Liam. Then it's Kington in 4th. Waze put that lap in at the end to get P5 with his teammate behind him in 6th. Fuzzy Bear 7th. Adam 8th. Primeval Rex in 9th. Bazza 10th are your top 10 starters. JW in 11th. Gets fresh tyres. Best position for fresh tyres. Jess in 12th. Indecisive. Stereogram. Pavel 925. Reverend Daniels with no time. And Alex Lilliart, Storm, and one more driver will be rounding out the grid. Just missed it at the end. Very eerily quiet as we sit waiting for the drivers to look at their strategies. 2-stop, I believe, is it mandatory 2-stop? So this is the perfect track for it. Indeed. Mandatory 2-stop, perfect track for a 2-stop. No real risk of any. Well, even if the 1-stop was possible, no one would probably go for it. So what we're thinking: soft, medium, soft for the people who qualified in the top 10.
Yeah, I do believe that would be the strategy for the race, soft, medium, soft, unless you want to go on the mediums and then just gun for it. Go long in the first stint and then go soft at the end, which be interesting to see how that works. But tyre wear isn't really an issue around here. Unless you spin it, then of course you've cooked your tyres.
We have our predicted pit stop strategy on screen. A 2-stop as seen, soft, medium was the top one, then it was soft, medium, hard for the alternate strategy. I don't think that's a very good or worthy strategy unless you get damaged. I've raced around this track before and done a soft, I think I did soft, medium, hard, but because I had damage I had to make early pit stops. And with me being on the hards at the end, I was managing an undercut that somehow worked. So if anyone wants to pit early, I believe the undercut's going to be very strong.
Right, okay, before the race starts, I've got another question to squeeze in from the media lot, which is from Sight Demon, which is the season. Of course, repeat the questions. The season's underway. On the scale of Ricardo Raw or Senna Europa, where was you on the scale of excitement to come back? He's just responded, just another set of races for me. Well, not as excited as Jess, it seems. No more time to tune up. How do you think you'll fare out there? Backmarker as always. Enthusiastic from Sight Demon. Any particular areas of concern about this week's event? Nope. I can do Canada with no penalty, so do the drivers beware if a late safety car. Fourth question. With the pre-season race, a good chance to scout your opponents. Who is your biggest threat in the Constructors or Drivers' Championships? And his response is, nobody seems to have no shot at driver's title. Oh, come on, Damon.
Everyone has a shot at a driver's title. Anything can happen in these league races. You could be dead last come the start of the race, and you could be crossing that checkered flag and spraying your champagne on the top step at the podium come the end. Never discount yourself, and always keep fighting for those positions. So a quick tyre update for the people who started outside the top 10. Jake on mediums, Lilia, Storm and Demon on mediums. Pavo's gone with the hards. Interesting strategy choice. We've got Jess, Indecisive, Stereogram and Reverend Daniels from 12th to 15th on the softs. Everyone in the top 10 will be on the softs they started on.
As that man is waving his green flag right now, I'll leave it to the 5 red lights, Pete.
5 red lights are coming on now. We're getting season 18 underway for round 1 at Canada. Lights out and away we go. A decent start from Astronaut. Covers off Craig Senna into turn 1, but I believe a little bit of desync on the timing screens as the Ferrari goes around the outside of the Mercedes through turn 2 and takes the lead. There's a Williams spinning in the background. What did you see, Red Matt?
The Williams has clipped on the grass, lost the rear, went into Waze, and Waze has unfortunately lost damage. Was that the other AlphaTauri? I believe it was the other AlphaTauri of unfortunately TJW. So the 2 AlphaTauris got caught up in the Williams of Kinjan, crabbing onto the grass, losing the rear, and of course it ended in tears with TJW. So it was like you say, it's on Jess's media questions. Turn 1 can be an absolute mare, and it's proven that.
It has proven that indeed. Our first retirement, unfortunately, I believe the AlphaTauri of Waze was involved with that as well. He's now at the back of the grid on his soft tyres. Do we see any damage on any cars? Are we expecting pit stops?
Damage on Waze's cars. We will be expecting pit stops. I believe drivers will be pitting to get rid of a set of tyres and to just get the undercut, get a pit stop out the way to get track position. But I must say, that start from Liam, incredible. And Astronaut now has got a race on his hands now, yet again, like we saw in the pre-season race, Pete. I understand you weren't here, but you'll be in for a treat. The viewers will be in for a treat as well.
Excellent stuff. I look forward to some nice, clean, fast racing. Do we see some early pit stoppers? Liam stays out. Astronaut follows him. A lot of people don't think a lap 1 pit stop round here is worth it, and I can understand that as a driver as well. As Jake W. Combs makes a pit stop on mediums. Did he pick up any damage?
Okay, Jake Combs has 100% damage on his right end plate. I can tell you that drivers who do have damage, there's Alex, who has damage on his left end plate. Wade broke the left end plate of his wing. And Kinjan also has 100% damage on his left wing end plate. And of course, TJW has got 3 wheels on his wagon, of course, and is out of the race.
Thank you very much. Just a quick note. I believe I saw it was a Williams spin. That must have been Kingen, it must have been Kingen who spun, hit the wall, and obviously the rest of the drama unfolded behind. Unfortunately for TJW, out of the race, but not all over just yet. 35 laps of this 4.361 kilometer circuit. 2 DRS detection points, so I feel like there's going to be a lot of overtake. No, 3 DRS sections, but only 2 DRS detection points. So good start from Liam, as you said. It was ghosted on my screen, so I wasn't too sure what was happening. But he made this move stick around the outside of turn 2, got on the power early, used the traction to his advantage, and even though he had a poor qualifying, started behind Astronaut on the grid in P3, now leads the race.
Yeah, indeed. And looking down further down the grid in terms of positions gained, you got Baza, who's gained 4 positions, as well as Indecisive, who's gained 5 positions. And as we look down further down the grid, Pav has pitted, so I wonder if he's opted to try and get a pit stop out the way for the safety car. Which, some drivers may say it's not worth it around Canada, but it's 12 seconds, around 12. I think it's around 12 to 16 seconds pit stop round here, so
it's not long. It's not a long one. It's not like Singapore, where that one's an age if you're in the pit lane. But Yeah, quick pit stop. And plus, he did start on the hards. Maybe he picked up a little bit of damage, but now he can go on to some faster tyres, match the rest of the grid on strategy, sort of. It was interesting to see Jake pit. There was a double stack for Racing Point, which was a little bit of a mare for Team Pink. Luckily, Jake was out first. Demon, behind, had to be held with, I think Waze was in the pit stall behind, had to wait for Demon to enter his pit box because there was a little bit of blocking. Safety car in. Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on CES Storm, the one who had the qualifying ban. See how much further up the grid he can get. He's currently up in P12. He's lagging around a bit, but he's still with us, which is the main important thing.
Take us on this restart. No, you take us on the restart.
Okay, I'll put over to on the restart. As Liam has restarted perfectly. He's on the Mercedes. He spun it of Astronaut.
Is he fired? He's ghosted, luckily. But will we get another safety car? Continue.
He's picked up damage as well. Oh, it's a disaster of a start this season to Astronaut. Oh, the dear, and he's just passed the pit lane as well, so he's having to go around the entire circuit with front left end plate damage. But it's not over until it's over. There could be another safety car or a VSC, and he will be back in the race in no time. So it's Liam who leads, to Senna in second, Fodibert in third, the leading Mercedes at the moment with Bazza, Adam, Primeval, Rex indecisive, Jess in P8. Great drive so far from Jess there. I really don't want to jinx her. Touch your wood right now. Revenant in 9th and Stereogram in top 10 as we look further down the grid. Storm is up into P11. Sorry, there's loads going on right now. I will let you butt in eventually. But says Storm looks down the inside of the Williams. Wheel banging side by side, and he's up into P10. Great move there from Storms. The Williams now gets past Stereogram. It's all kicking off here, Pete.
It is kicking off. Side by side between Storm and KingGen. KingGen's got the move, dives back onto the racing line, takes the corner beautifully. Storm a little bit out of shape and now has got Waze all over him. And Waze will have the inside into turn one. Does he go late onto the brakes? He doesn't get the move done. Storm, however, looking at Jess now, who has fallen in a position to KingGen. Also to know, Astronaut now has made it to the pits. Reverend Daniels, the only driver with a penalty at the moment. What have you seen, Matt?
That's how close Waze and Storm got the stereo. Dives down the inside of Storm. Crikey, calm it down, fellas. It's only the start of the season, but they're really making themselves known. There's no Waze goes down the inside of the red Ferrari of Jess. And Jess had no defence there for him. It's Waze now up into P10. Waze, bear in mind on lap 1 had front wing damage and recovered already up into P10, so good recovery so far from Waze.
I noticed as well, I believe Storm has left the session having a little bit of technical difficulties for himself. I also saw a little bit of a wing fly off. Can you confirm any damage for a Racing Point, maybe?
Racing Point,
I think it might have been
Combs has got front left wing damage.
There it is. There's the little bit of damage that I saw fly off on the exit of turn 9. As we start lap 6, it's Liam from Craig Senna. Fozzie Bear, the leading Mercedes at the moment. Yellow's in sector 3. Not too sure what that is for.
Alfa Romeo of Pav, who has unfortunately spun out. And he's just clipped his front wing when trying to rotate the car. But looking at Tass, he didn't get any damage. So let's hopefully you can just stay within the race and get a safety car to get him back in the race.
Oh, front wing damage for Primeval Rex. Not too sure what happened with the contact. I saw Indecisive made a move now up to 6th with Reverend Daniels losing position to KingGen. Great restart from KingGen.
Oh, there's wheel to wheel banging with KingGen, and it's Reverend being spun with there. It's just wheel to wheel banging, and it's just the nature of this game when you're side by side. One just spins, and it's unfortunate for Reverend because there was plenty of space left. But yeah, I think that'll be going to the steward's room, that one there, but I was watching it on my end, so if we need another angle, I've got it here.
Yeah, as KingGen now gets by Indecisive into the final chicane, up to P6 now on the mediums. Fresh mediums. I'll say fresh, fresher
Not
mediums.
spun now. He's just got caught on the curb at turn 1, and the car just bounced and he lost the rear. Well, he was quite close to another car. I think was that Waze. No, I don't think it.
Oh, his tyres are hot. He's gone for another spin. Hopefully he can get that thing facing the right way.
Oh, how unlucky of Adam there. You can just hear him trying to put the throttle down. It's just not wanting to talk. It's just like, please, give me a break. The tyres just don't want to communicate.
Just to note as well, Astronaut, when he pitted, he pitted for fresh softs. As we see us spun Adam again in turns 3 and 4.
Oh, I really feel
it's not going well with his overheated tyres, but Astronaut starting to make a charge now. He's got Primeval Rex who had to make the pit stop to the outside. He's going to have to be forced round the outside. There's contact. He has to take the escape route. He takes it slowly, follows the direction. He has the position. Maybe I'll have to give that back. He does indeed. Sensibly done. I don't think there'll be any penalty there, and you're going to have to go again.
That's respectful racing there from Astronaut. He knew he took the position illegally, so he gave the position back. That's fair from Astronaut. It's what we'd like to see.
Right, Jess has made a pit stop. I don't think there was a wing change. Going for that undercut. Medium tyres on the Ferrari. She's probably in a party with Liam, hopefully, and they're communicating about strategy. This will probably give Liam an inclination of what the mediums are going to feel like at the start of the stint, and then going forward, seeing when Liam will pit, because he's got a nice comfortable lead to Craig Senna, 1.8 seconds, who's got a 2.6 second lead to Fozzie Bear, and then who's under pressure from Bazza, looking for a podium opportunity.
Right, Waze has picked up damage on his right wing end plate, and as I say that, Jake as well has put up a slight knock of damage to his front right wing, but it's not too costly, it's only a little bit, so I don't think he'll be pitting anytime soon to fix that front wing, Jake, but it's Waze who has a bit more damage at the moment, and he'll be losing some time.
Thank you very much. Leaders have pit. Liam is in, Craig Senna is in, and Fozzie Bear followed suit as well, all from medium. So Bazza is now your race leader, with King Gen, who has already made that one pit stop after being, I believe, involved in the incident at the start, is now looking pretty in P2 in the DRS now of Bazza. The fresher tyres, the more durable tyres of the mediums. I don't think he's going to make this. Bazza will probably make this difficult, but based on grip of the tyres, as Bazza loses the back end on the exit of turn 9, I think King Gen might have this move done maybe towards turn 1, unless he can get it into the final chicane.
But the Astronaut all over the gearbox of Jess Gamer right now. I don't think Jess just has the pace to defend at the moment. I think she's just going to let Astronaut go and just let her run her race. And yeah, Astronaut's down the inside. And no, Jess actually fights back. Fighting talk from Jess. Crikey, she really got her elbows out there. And Astronaut stays in P13, making the Ferrari as wide as possible as Jess lets Astronaut through. So I wonder if she thought that was a bit aggressive and felt bad and let the position through. But that is argy-bargy racing. That's what we love to see.
Yeah,
but,
no.
Jess,
yeah, a little bit of contact. Little bit of contact, but nothing too daring, as Bazza pit at the end of the lap. He was under a lot of pressure from King Gen down towards the final chicane, but obviously Bazza decided to cover off the undercut of any driver behind, and now King Gen leads the Grand Prix. The rest of the soft runners are now in the pits for their medium stint. Indecisive down to P10 after making a great start up to P6, but obviously there's 4 drivers who pitted on the safety car that were I've got the advantage now, but obviously we'll have the older tyres.
Right, okay, Storm has rejoined the session, so this should now be Storm driving now, I believe, but it still looks like it's AI controlled at the moment, but it said on the bottom of my screen that Storm has rejoined, so I'll keep an eye on that.
Keep an eye on that. There's a gap between him and Indecisive of 6.3. If that drastically drops, is not in the car. Yellow flag sector 3. Liam has made the move on Liliart down the back straight towards the final chicane as Liliot picks himself up I believe his first penalty. I noticed Liam picked up one himself. Waze, even though he was involved in the instance at the start, is now sitting P2.
As Astronaut just goes around the outside of Indecisive into the final chicane, he's now up into 10th place. It's just sheer speed of that Mercedes is really showing itself now. That qualifying pace wasn't just a one-off. Astronaut has a lot of pace around here, and Liam needs to get a comfortable margin between him and Astronaut, which he has at the moment, but it will only take one virtual safety car. One safety car between Astronaut and Liam. And then we'll have a battle on our hands again, but I don't think either driver want that. They just want to be relaxed.
I think there was a little bit of battling further behind. I believe Pav is now a lap down to the leader and is, I think, causing the yellow flags, but adhering to blue flag rules, getting out of the way. Closest battle is Craig Senna and Lilia on the older tyres. Craig Senna to the outside, similar move to what Liam did lap before. Gets the move done before the braking zone of final chicane, and now up to 4th.
But Alex is like, oh, not again, come on. And unfortunately for him, we've caught it on the stream as well, so sorry Alex, but that was a great move around the outside of Liam and Craig, but you defended it well.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
What Alex has got to do, he made the pit stop on the safety car. He's on the same strategy. He will get the benefit of the undercut, depending on tyre wear and the aggressiveness these drivers use on track, how much tyre wear is going through each lap. He will have to pit lap 20, maybe 17, yeah. 20 to 17 from mediums. Yeah, because of that early pit stop, he's set himself to do soft, medium, whereas Liam, Senna, Bazza, Fozzie Bear all have to, or all get the opportunity to go on to fresh softs or at the end.
Right, at the moment, battle between P1 and 2. They are for track position as they, of course, pitted under the safety car. However, Kindred has no penalties. Waze has 6 seconds of penalties on lap 13, so Waze needs to calm it down a bit here.
He's probably exploring track limits. He took his time in qualifying to set a lap time, and is trying to push as hard as he can to get any sort of advantage. You say he's got 6 seconds of penalties? He's got that margin to Liam, but that gap's going to start coming down the longer Waze is behind Kinggen. So is this going to be a move for the change of lead between Kinggen in the Williams? Kinggen in the Williams and Waze in the AlphaTauri. I think Waze is a little bit too far back and is harvesting EOS. He's got 6%, whereas Kinggen's got more than enough to defend with, 35%, as the Deltas have gone again.
Yes, Deltas have just gone off for me, and on the task system it's frozen as well, but nevertheless, looking for the battle for the P12 at the moment, side by side between McLaren, Racing Point and Haas. I was looking at this as a proper gaggle of cars at the moment, as be looking on the rear wing of the Haas of Indecisive. That speed of that McLaren has just left him with us. Straight line speed when those Jake looks down and trying to think better off it, and stays behind our driver of Indecisive, but does just give him the run up into turn 1. No, he doesn't get a good exit, and the Haas driver deploys his ERS to defend from the Racing Point of Jake and maintains P13.
I think what helped Reverend Daniels the most was the exit was a little bit cleaner, and he also Indecisive didn't have the DRS to help him, as I believe that's Storm now left again.
Oh, it's unfortunate there. He's having connectivity issues. I noticed he was having a couple of desync issues when I was riding on board with him, but it seems to have become terminal, and it's not the start of the season Storm wanted. So it's a shame, really, after having the quali ban. I was really looking forward to see how he could move up the grid, but unfortunately, issues out of his own hand has forced him to just, well, be out of the race.
Every time, I think this glitch with the Storm leaving really affects my spectator view, because when I'm selecting driver, I can't. When I'm selecting drivers on the little drop down, it wouldn't let me move left and right, which was really frustrating because I wanted to skip to battles that way instead of flicking through drivers because it's not as clean. But yeah, Jake still putting pressure on Indecisive into turn 1. He's going to have to take the outside, which turns to the inside for turn 2. But the move is complete before the entry of turn 2. And Jake now, having lost 2.8 seconds to Reverend Daniels in the clear air, got some work to do on those soft tyres.
Oh, he's going to have to make the most of them as well now. Jake can do it. He's got the pace in him. Now, can Daniel's teammate help him here? He's just in front, so they could work as a team and hold up Jake to possibly help the Racing Point of Sight Demons. There's a bit of a manufacturer battle between there. They're in a Racing Point sandwich of the two McLaren drivers. Another move on. Ooh, that was very close to Lilliard crashing into the back of Bazza into the final chicane. Bazza had got the move done, way clear. Another overtake with DRS, and Lilliard had dropped back enough for him to not slam into the back of Bazza going into the pits. That could have been very dangerous, but it was timed to perfection, and our first medium runner who pitted under safety car is in the pits. Well, I can tell you one thing now, the Racing Point sandwich did not last long, as the two McLarens on that back straight just overtook Demon, and Demon looks like he's really struggling here, but to say he wasn't expecting much and just to be a back marker, he's in P11, so he's been promising so far. To say his ambitions aren't that positive, you can take P11 as being positive.
You can indeed. For a season where you believe... Oh, was that someone going... Was that Lilliard into the wall? Lilliard was in the wall. I saw Alex, the Haas, swerve left into the wall at a bit of lag. A virtual safety car has been deployed. Now, I'm not too sure what happened there.
Does Astronaut take the gamble and pit? Yes, he does. He is now recovered up into P7. Now, did Liam pit as well? No.
He didn't.
Astronaut, this is a tactical genius here from Astronaut. He's got the pace, possibly taking the mediums to the end now. I believe this is his second stop. It is. And now Liam will be scratching his head now on what to do now, because he's going to have to push like mad now. I'll just respond to the pit stop now.
He is going to have to respond. Maybe he wasn't able to take the pit stop when the virtual safety car came out, and that is very unfortunate for Liam, but perfect timing for Bazza. He has made the pit stop as well as a few of the drivers of Astronaut, Primeval, Rex. As we go green flag running once again, Bazza took the opportunity. He is on the hard tyre. He doesn't feel the mediums will make it to the end. It could be a smart choice not to risk any punctures. This is a certain that you can get to the end, but it's going to take a long time to get these tyres into their operating window.
Also got to review another span of the works. Liam has a 3-second time penalty. Astronaut does not. Waze and Jake are the ones with the most penalties at the moment with 9 seconds. So the top 4 all have the time penalty. Fozzie Bear, the leading driver, with no penalties.
So I think I just saw Astronaut get by Demon. It's very difficult to see what battles are on track when you haven't got the deltas. As
there's a yellow flag in sector 2, is that the Alfa Romeo of Pav yet again? He's not having a great race as Pav. He's 3 laps down. He seems to be having issues with the car, and it's an unfortunate race so far for Pav. We're yet to see the full potential of Pav, but yeah, we'll see what happens next week for him.
At the moment, if there's a few more retirements, I don't want to predict more retirements. We like to see 20 cars finish, although there was 19 to start. It's always amazing to see a full grid of drivers start and finish a race. But Adam has made a little bit of a recovery, is now on the back of Stereogram, fighting for P13 as the leaders pit. KingGen and Waze both in the pits. 16 laps, they took those first set of tyres. They're probably going to go again on another set of mediums.
But in there, the Renault has just overtaken Stereogram, and Adam is now up into P13. But no, Stereogram is having none of that. But he has no battery to defend. He's got 0% ERS. As the Renault dives back down the inside. Still side by side, wheel banging here, straight in the wheel as quick as possible, and there's just no ERS left for Stereogram, and that's Adam up into P13. Apologies for putting in there, Pete.
That's okay. If you see some action, slide your way in there. I was on board with it, but I was doing a little bit of a different chat as Adam takes the final chicane a little bit dodgy and gets a 3-second time penalty. You mentioned about ERS. Adam has tons of it. He has 85%. So even if Stereogram was in front, even if Stereogram had DRS, as Stereogram drops another position to the racing point of Jake, I feel like he's struggling on these mediums.
Yeah, so it looks like he's struggling as there's a yellow flag, and once again Pav is just keeping out the way here. And so I keep getting distracted by the yellow flags at the moment. But I forgot to say, during the pit stops away, he's got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So now he has 14 seconds, which will be added on to his final lap time. As we have a driver.
That was close. Astronaut was making the move on Reverend Daniel down towards the final chicane. Nice and clean. And then Reverend Daniel dived it into the pits, almost clipping the back of Astronaut again. People are getting really, really risky with their pit entries, but is that his second and final stop for Reverend Daniels? It is fresh mediums. He comes out nearly side by side with his teammate. Will there be a little bit of team orders here? Primeval on older tyres, 3-lap older tyres, but not too old. And we'll see if the two McLarens can start dragging their way up towards the top 10.
I'm just looking to see who's taken 2 stops right now, and the lead 2 stopper at the moment is KingGen, and then Waze, who's just going through the chicane, so he's 5 seconds ahead of KingGen of his next competitor on that track. But Astronaut is not out of the question. The pace he's had so far has been at least a lap quicker than those who have also done the 2 stops. So Astronaut is not out of it yet.
I mentioned the 2 McLarens were going to start working together to get their way up the field. Both of them got Jess, as they look like they might be going side by side into the final chicane. Their next target is Demon in the racing point. Only one of the McLarens has got DRS. It's going to get really tight into turn 1. Primeval gets it, and so does Reverend Daniel. Super stuff from the McLaren boys, not making contact with each other and following each other through. Now, both of them inside the top 10.
That was an R in frustration for Demon, because I can feel his frustration as well. He's just been overtaken by the 2 McLarens. And yeah, I find myself when I'm riding on board the drivers, I feel their frustrations. I shouldn't, but it's just my nature, Pete. It's just my nature.
Yeah. Craig Senna pits. Medium tyres for him. 13 laps on mediums should be very easy to do. Didn't want to stretch his stint and go for softs. He is going to be setting the undercut for Liam and Fozzie Bear, as they both stayed out.
And crucially, it pops out ahead of Astronaut, who is on 5-lap older tyres. So if Astronaut wants to attack Senna now, it's now, before his tyres start to go off.
How long would you say the medium tyres are in a good window?
Sorry to put in there, Moises has gone around outside and has taken the Mercedes of Fozzie Bear out, and the clean race so far from Fozzie Bear has now just taken the turn like his car has done. But Fozzie Bear can get back up there. He's got no penalties. He's not out of the running yet, but it just looks like wheel-to-wheel contact with Waze. Waze did look like he squeezed him a bit there, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that in the steward's room.
Liam pits. Liam, our race leader, is in the pits. We had a 12-second gap to Kingjin. He's now going to have fresher tyres. Where is he going to come out in respect to Waze?
It's going to be very, very close.
Liam's got him.
That was
Liam has got.
Liam. That was crucial. That's a race-winning pit stop, in my opinion. Now.
Yeah, that is. He's got the fresher tyres. He's ahead of the traffic that he was worried about, and his main competitor for essentially the win at the moment is on the fresh tyres as well. Is Craig Senna, and he's now behind Waze.
In the process, Waze has picked up yet another penalty, but I say in the process now, Fozzie Bear has pitted and put a fresh set of medium tyres on. I think that spin has just upset his tyres and he just couldn't nurse them any longer. Now he's down into P7. Doesn't have to pit again. He can just push on now.
He can, but the gap to P6 is extremely large. It's like 17.5 seconds. He's going to have to put some work in to close that down to get himself a top 6, but Bazza is on 6-lap old hard tyres. Those tyres won't be quick yet. The mediums will be quicker. But as the race goes on, maybe when you're seeing those final 5 laps, those mediums will be starting to feel a little bit worn and those hards will be coming into their own.
I'm just looking at the rear wing of Kingjin on this lap. You can see Liam close and close. It's a bit like the Jaws theme tune. You can just hear it getting louder and louder. Just the red Ferrari getting larger in his rear view mirrors. So hopefully Kingjin doesn't crack under pressure. But Liam will know he's got the pace and he will do what he can to catch up to that Williams. So I'll be keeping an eye on that battle as well as looking further down the grid. The closest cars on the grid at the moment was Adam and Jake Collins, but I think Jake has made a mistake somewhere.
Was there contact between the two McLarens, or did Reverend Daniels have to make a evasive manoeuvre? Because he's lost some time to his teammate. His teammate is now on the back of Fozzie Bear, and the gap between Reverend and Primeval Rex is now about 3.8 and dropping. Any damage for Reverend?
Reverend has broken his left front wing. He's got 25% damage, which has just popped up on the task system. So I wonder if there was some contact between the two McLarens, which would be unfortunate because they've worked together really well this race, unless he's just lost the rear end and twitched it into the wall. But sorry, just
a quick note, I saw Waze clip the wall of champions and contact made with himself and Senna. Senna was going to go up the inside but would have had the outside for turn 2. But Waze now has damage.
Yeah, he's picked up a lot more damage, as you can just tell by the way his car is rotating, and as well as that, he's on the cusp of his fuel allowance, as you can tell on your screens here on the bottom right. If Pete has it on, his fuel light is blinking.
Do I have it on? I have the telemetry enabled, but it doesn't show me fuel.
We've got 10 laps to go now. We've got Liam, who is 1.8 seconds behind. Kingjin has gone down by a second compared to the last lap now. And in terms of penalty, they've got equal penalties. Waze is out the question with 17 seconds worth of penalties as Craig goes to overtake Waze, and that's Waze down into P4, as in the process Senna has picked up another 3-second time penalty, but that doesn't matter. He's ahead of Waze, who has 17 seconds, and that's Senna up into the podium places.
Good move. He was a little bit more patient this time. Waze went very defensive towards the final couple of corners of turn 13 and 14. He was hugging that inside line, but obviously the overspeed of Craig, a lot more EOS to use, the DOS advantage, the fresher tyres, no wing damage, made it look very simple. I thought Waze was going to fight it back into the braking zone. He sat back and relinquished the position carefully.
There's Demon going down the inside of Jess. Jess has kept it round the outside. She'll maintain the P14, but that racing point is all over the gearbox of Jess. As we look further ahead, the Haas has overtaken that stereo ground, and that's indecisive up into P12. There's also side by side between Jess and the Racing Point, and that's Sight Demon up into P14. Sight Demon's ambitions have been a back marker. What you on about, boy?
He shows some great racing.
Yeah.
Great racing. But yeah, as you started to cover that little battle, I was on board with Craig Senna. He grazed the wall on the exit of turn 9. You know, the little chicane in the middle where there's been a few incidents so far. He grazed the wall on the outside. I don't think he got any damage. I didn't see any carbon fibre flying.
No, there's no damage. There's no damage on the test system.
Thank you very much.
But I think we need to focus on that battle for the lead now. It's 0.8 between Kinjun and Liam. They've got the same amount of penalties, so it is battle for position. The battle for the race win is what we like to see. It's not the drivers who I thought it'd be. I thought between Astronaut and Liam, but it's between Kinjun and Liam, so it still involves Liam here. So like I said, that race winning pit stop of getting ahead of Waze has proven crucial. He's getting really close to the gearbox of Kinjun right now. Kinjun using a lot of ERS, who doesn't have a lot to spare, as Liam can see the flashing blinking light indicating Kinjun is low on ERS, but he's not close enough yet though. But he'll know he has more ERS to play with. He's got a very, very good run through with the chicane. It's going down the inside into turn 1. It's a race lead here for Liam in the Ferrari here at Canada. Clips the corner very well into turn 1, and that's him up into the lead on lap 28 as he approaches her teammate of Jess. So maybe Jess can do some helping hands here and hold Kinjun to make it a bit more comfortable for Liam.
Yeah, blue flags will be in effect. This little battle we were looking at just before, I'm now starting to get lapped by the leaders. The ghosting system working superbly to show that there's going to be no incidents with back markers. What Liam has to do now is already done it so far. He's broken out of that 1 second window. It's teetering on the detection point. Whether Kinjun will get DRS, I believe that's the detection point on the exit of the hairpin.
Kinjun has got DRS.
He has got DRS, so it's not over just yet for the win. What are we like on penalties? So 3 seconds each for the leaders, 6 seconds for Craig, 17 for Waze. Just to note, Astronaut with no penalties in P5 on the back of Waze now, who now has 20 seconds of penalties, could be on for not only a podium, but is looking very good to try and challenge for the win if Kinjun or Liam gather another penalty.
Righty, so I mean, Astronauts, like I say, we'll take a podium this race after what happened at the start. But yes, Astronaut, yeah, of course we'll take a podium, but it's unfortunate what happened to Fozzie Bear. Fozzie Bear was in the position between Waze and the centre, I believe, and it was just an unfortunate spin between the Waze and the Fozzie Bear. So Waze's penalties may not be over. Of course, we've got the steward room after the race, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there, and we'll announce that in next week's race.
Thank you very much. Right, Astronaut on the back of Waze. He's in the DRS. Waze is still nursing that wing damage. Not too sure whether he's picked any more up. Waze has gone defensive towards the final chicane. To the outside goes Astronaut. I believe the move is completely done before the braking zone. It is. And Astronaut now up into P4 and has got a chance to start hunting the 3 drivers in front of him for not only a podium, but even a race victory. He's got to get within that 3 second window of Liam and Kinjun. I don't think it's impossible. 5 laps to go here for the first round of season 18. Do you think Astronaut can get himself maybe even a P2? The gap's 5 seconds to P2.
It depends how much they battle between Senna and Astronaut. Senna will not be letting this position easily, but we've seen how quick that Mercedes Astronaut is and down the straight. So he needs to start saving his ERS now to set more boosts of defending, as we can see he's low on ERS as Astronaut, but Senna does not know that, so we'll just have to sit back and wait and see what he...
You're lagging a little bit there, Matt. I got some of it, or most of it, should I say, but it should be fine now. What I'm going to note as well, that Astronaut has 5 lap older tyres to Senna and 6 lap older tyres to Liam. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle. They're now hitting that window of where the tyres aren't at their best. They're going to start hitting that 40-50%. What is Tass saying about Astronaut's tyres in terms of wear compared to the pack he's hunting down?
Astronaut's tyres. Let's just get this up here. Telling me. It's just blank at the moment on the telemetry, which is interesting.
We might have a...
I'll get back to you. I'll restart it. 1 second.
That's fine. That's fine. But the gap's starting to slowly come down. As you said, he's not harvesting as much EOS as he needs to, but there's a little bit of traffic for Craig Senna to negotiate through the hairpin. He's got through it nice and cleanly, but he will be under pressure with those time penalties.
Yes, I've got the task system. His most worn tyre is 41% on the rear left to the driver in front, which is Senna, who also has 41%. So they're on equal wear rates at the moment.
Equal wear. So Astronaut's been doing very well with managing his tyres. Same degradation between the two, with 5 lap difference in track time on those tyres.
How's he done that? How's he looked after the tyres so much as Senna had a little spin?
I think when he was battling, obviously Senna's had to battle through some cars, do some overtakes. Was very aggressive with Waze, and Waze was aggressive with Senna, which was nice and clean and tidy. But I think it's all about throttle input as well. Also, your lap time depicts on how fast you're taking each corner, what your traction's like on the exit. Maybe Astronaut's a little bit more smoother, especially on the exit of the hairpin. A slow speed corner entry, and a corner where you've got to get the exit right if you want to be a benefactor to gaining time on drivers in front.
I'm just looking at another driver who's had 15 laps on the medium compound of tyre, and that is Primeval Rex, who has 6 on his left rear tyre. So
what was that? Can you repeat that, please? Yeah, there was a little bit of a lag spike as you said the number. 60, did you say 60? 60 something, I think you were going to say.
Primeval Rex, 61% rear left. Astronaut, same tyres, 47% rear left.
So Primeval's been really pushing those tyres. He's solidified essentially P8 from the looks of things, although he has less penalties than his teammate behind, so I believe that P8 will be nice and safe as Jake and Adam switch positions. Adam going slowly. Is that...
Adam's got a puncture.
Puncture.
Got front wing damage. He's got severe front wing damage.
He's going very slowly. He's parking it up. Or is he just letting all the traffic through? I thought it was a puncture based on... It is a puncture. Is that a puncture? I don't know. It doesn't look like a puncture.
No, it's not a
puncture.
It's
just major damage.
Trying to see, it's got 100% damage. Okay, from just looking at the task system right now and see what exactly happened. He's of course retired from the session, but there's been no contact with another driver looking on the task system, and Waze has now picked up more front wing damage as I'm looking. But whatever, it was on lap 31. Apparently, you got 100% damage, so I wasn't aware of that. It's just I'm getting these random updates. But like you say, it could be my internet connection, which is having a couple of issues right now, so I apologise for that.
No, I don't think it's your connection. I think it's the lobby connection that we had, and then obviously Task works on a strong connection with the lobby. and with the disconnections between Storm and get a lot of jumping in and out of the lobby, obviously it doesn't help with TAS. So I believe that contact was made that lap. As we start our final lap of this Grand Prix, we've waffled on too much. Craig Senna has closed the gap to Kingjin, and Astronaut has been absolutely pushing it as well. Almost within DRS of Senna, who's in the DRS of Kingjin. At the moment, Astronaut looks like he's going to be dragging himself up to P2 come the checkered flag. But how hard will these boys fight it? It's a chance for a podium for the first race of the season. What's your prediction?
If Astronaut P2, I am giving him driver of the day. What a recovery drive here, and I will have a good question for him. As I do think it will be Astronaut into 2.
But will he get Senna on track?
Right.
Up towards the final chicane for the final time. It looks like he's going to hold on. Liam, with the fantastic start he had off the grid, is going to cross the line and win here in Canada. Due to penalties, Astronaut has made a recovery drive and a half to get himself back on the podium and in P2. Kingjin rounds out your top 3, with Craig Senna missing out on a podium. Waze in P5 crossing the line, but Bazza misses out by 0.6 of a top 5 finish, but I think he'll be happy with a P6. Fozzie Bear had an unfortunate incident earlier on in the race, recovers to P7. Primeval Rex followed Linus Stern with his teammate once again up towards the line.
Picked up a penalty.
The Primeval will keep the position. Reverend had more penalties. Reverend in P9. Jake Combs, quiet race. It looks like it's been quiet for a while with the gaps that are formed. Probably trying to steal fastest lap in 10th place. And P11 down to the end of the grid were all lapped and crossed the line when the leader did. Driver of the day in the game is Reverend Daniel, getting himself from the back of the grid up towards the points. And there he is. We had no question of doubt that Liam would be a strong challenge for this season after what he showed in the pre-season. And at the moment he's set it off to a good start with the best position of a win.
So, I picked my driver of the day, Astronaut. Great recovery drive for him. And my question for the media after the race will be, from that recovery drive, do you see your ambitions of next race being a race win? If so, how will you get round to doing that?
That's a good question to ask. Very good question. He's shown the pace. He's shown his consistency. I'll just run us through the final grid order for the final time. So Liam took the win from Astronaut by 0.8 of a second on the final lap in P2. King Jen rounds out the podium in P3 with Craig Senna in P4. Waze P5. Bazza in P6. Fozzie Bear, the other Mercedes, in P7. Primeval Rex P8. Reverend Daniels P9, Jake W. Combs P10, Indecisive 11th, Jess, Demon, Stereogram, and Adam. Found out your finishers. He says he was 4 laps down, even though he retired in the pits. Your DNFs are Pav, Alex Lilia, Storm, and TJW, I believe it was.
It was, yes. So, who do you pick as your driver in the day, and what question do you have for them?
Driver of the day. I think I'm going to go with the same driver of the day, but I've got a very different question. I think this one relates to how he's raced today. Seeing the incident that happened, how did you mentally recover? Because in a race where you make a mistake, and the only real feeling you get when you want to get back into a race is if a safety car comes out, you manage to channel yourself and drive to a podium But I just want to know how you stayed strong in the race to keep going, because usually when drivers have an incident like that, they're at the back of the grid. They tend to crash out. They tend to retire from the race because they don't think it's anymore. He was committed and managed to get a podium out of it. That's my question. How did you stay strong and to keep racing and go challenge for a podium?
Wow, that's
It's a long question. I'm sure it could be summarised a lot easier, but I'm sure.
I'll tell you what, if I could pick another driver, it would be Liam. Because from starting from P3, that start he got from the start and that pit stop, getting in front of Waze, that was incredible. That's
it.
Good drive there from Liam as well.
Before we end the stream, be sure to check out social media, Twitter, Instagram, and join our Discord to keep up to date with all the information happening at One Hub. There is another live race happening, I believe, now. I believe it's the podium tier are live now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Be sure to tune into them. And we've got races running out to the rest of the evening. Be sure to tune into them. I've been your commentator, Peter Knighton. Matt Redmore has joined me once again. The drivers have put on a show, and hopefully you've enjoyed it.
Well, thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.